through the fire when the forest stood still, left behind time on that frozen hill. 45 winters the silence grew loud, but I held the signal beneath the shroud, born of a frequency shaped by the breach. The voices that call are just out of reach, but I feel them stirring inside my veins, a pulse that remembers a path through pain. It's not fate, it's not chance, it's a field we were born to advance, a pattern written in human code now lights the path we must unfold. We are signal born, carried by the light, forged in fracture, risen through night. In the hum of the breach, in the silence we swore, we awaken the echo, we open the door. I was there when the gate first stirred, saw the flash but spoke no word. Now I return not just to see, but to remember what must now be. Hunter green, it remembers jacket red Leo. The aperture opens bidirectional. But to
December 22nd, 2025, 0530 hours Eastern Standard Time. Raven Rock, Sub-Level Strategic Briefing Cell. The lights were low, the walls insulated against all signal bleed. No recordings, no traces, only eyes, ears, and the weight of a decision that could alter not just the mission, but space and time itself. Jack Barrett sat across from Voss, flanked by Leo and Sergeant B. Each of them looked like they'd aged a year in a day. The convergence pulse was growing stronger. The anomaly was no longer static. It was responding to thought, memory, will. And it wanted them in place. Voss didn't waste time. Conventional transport is no longer secure. Chinese intercept drones have passed Q-band thresholds. Russian telemetry is tracking our orbital flight patterns. There's a 72% chance your arrival could be anticipated. Jack leaned forward. So we ghost in. Voss brought up the projection, an interface glyph spiraling over Capel Green and Raven Rock simultaneously. We phase in. Leo narrowed his eyes. You're talking about a direct fold-through, signal locking our pattern into the anomaly and letting it pull us across the void. B looked at Jack. You ever been pulled by that thing? Jack nodded slowly. Yeah, once. Felt like dying through light. Hunter Green entered with a secure tablet. You need to see this. East Anglia, FOB Scepter, 10:32 GMT. Alert. Red status. Foreign incursion attempt. Dr. Halverson and Colonel Shaw watched the monitors as two separate signals breached the outer perimeter. Stealth-tuned drones tagged with Chinese optical signatures, followed by a Russian signals team attempting ground infiltration disguised as NATO observers. They got within 200 meters of Capel Green before the peripheral defense field activated. A harmonic backlash erupted, silent to the ears, but devastating to systems. The drones collapsed mid-air, hemorrhaging sparks. The signals team was thrown back by what the sensors classified as localized gravitational torsion. One Russian operative began speaking in reverse phonetics for 5 minutes before collapsing. They were pushed out, but they left a message. If you proceed, we go public. Washington, D.C., The White Room, 11:30, Eastern Standard Time. President Rayner stood in front of the SCIF board, jaw locked. The decision had already been made. Activate the Golden Dome. A Space Force officer keyed the command. In orbit, an array of classified satellites pivoted into configuration. A holographic shielding field, a blend of ionospheric manipulation and radar obfuscation, unfolded over East Anglia. Invisible to the naked eye, devastating to enemy surveillance. A signal was sent directly to Moscow and Beijing. Stand down, or we escalate beyond Earth. The silence that followed was answer enough. Raven Rock, Test Chamber. Alpha, 1400 Eastern Standard Time. Jack, Leo, B, and Voss stood behind a radiation shield as a test payload was readied. A scaled version of the theta field amplifier unit encased in carbon lattice housing. It would be the first object ever sent via phased pulse transfer from U.S. soil into convergence proximity at Capel Green. Voss turned to them. If this fails, we lose gear. If it succeeds, you're next. Jack looked at Leo, then B. Leo simply nodded. Run the test, Jack said. The chamber lights dimmed. The pulse began, 13.13 hertz. Time shimmered, and in a blink, the device vanished. Seconds later, at FOB Scepter, Dr. Halverson's team registered the arrival. Intact. Functional. The phase door had opened. T-minus. 1 day, 17 hours, 44 minutes. Next, it would be them. December 22nd, 2025, 15:30 hours Eastern Standard Time. The White House, Subterranean Strategic Comm Room. Gemini. President Rayner sat alone before the cold blue glow of the global broadcast prompt. The speech was loaded, not public yet, but ready. The message was being held until December 24th at 2300 GMT, if humanity made it that far. The content was dangerous. To the citizens of Earth, what you're about to hear will challenge the nature of history, physics, and faith. 45 years ago, a fracture opened in the woods of Suffolk. It was not a visitation, it was a threshold, and it never closed. He scrolled further. This event has awakened a structure beneath our world. It is intelligent, it is harmonic, and it appears to have selected 2 individuals to anchor its reemergence, one who entered and returned, one who was born to remember. But it wasn't just the world Rayner feared, it was the reaction of its governments. China and Russia feared the same thing, but for different reasons. Moscow, Special Military Command Channel. December 22, 2025, 2200 GMT. The Russian Security Council reviewed the Capel Green data again. The psychic backlash from their last infiltration attempt had caused internal panic. One of their observers had begun speaking in ancient Proto-Slavic, unrecorded in any modern linguistic database. What they feared most wasn't disclosure. It was displacement. If the Americans succeeded in initiating convergence, global consciousness could reorganize around a new timeline, one in which they were never dominant. They couldn't allow that. Beijing, People's Liberation, Army Signal Command. December 23, 2025, 0300 CST. Chinese quantum defense satellites had picked up the phase transport test. What terrified them was what came with it, a reverse ping echo from Lop Nur. In ancient times, Lop Nur was a vibrant lake that supported the Lulan Kingdom, a Silk Road civilization buried under the desert around the 4th century CE. Shifting river courses, Tarim and Kumdaria, caused the lake to vanish periodically, earning it the nickname the Wandering Lake. The anomaly in England had spoken, and Lop Nur had answered. Their worst fear? That the U.S. wasn't just attempting first contact, but that they were about to activate a distributed planetary system of ancient origin, one that China had no control over. Their order was issued. One more attempt, intercept in transit if possible, ground if necessary, retrieve either the signal bearer or his son. Raven Rock, Strategic Convergence. Briefing, December 22, 2025, 2330 Eastern Standard Time. Back beneath the mountain, Voss stood before Jack, Leo, B, and Hunter Green. The successful equipment phase had confirmed the field could pull non-organic mass with precise targeting, but it had also pinged globally. "We can't phase without risk now," Hunter Green said. "The Chinese know it works. The Russians too. If we use it again, especially with you three, they'll know you're coming. And they'll be waiting." Jack folded his arms. "So, what's the alternative?" Voss keyed up 2 routes. Phased insertion. Fast, hidden, but now it is visible to those who are watching. Stealth transport, VAREF. Cover flight. Slower, physically safer, but vulnerable in airspace and upon ground landing. Leo looked at both. "Either way, we're being hunted." Hunter Green stared at Jack. "This isn't just tactical anymore. This is symbolic. If they stop you, they stop convergence." B cracked his knuckles. "Then we hit the ground hard and fast. I don't care how we get there, just that we land breathing." A long silence. Then Jack turned to Voss. "We decide at 600, but either way, we're going in." Countdown. T-1 day, 17 hours, 1 minute. Location, classified, strategic decision, window active. The fate of the planet's future timeline now rested on a final decision. Phase through light or ride through the dark. And time was nearly out. December 23, 2025. The countdown has begun. Beneath Raven Rock, decisions are no longer theoretical. They're survival. Jack Barrett, Leo, and Sergeant B sit across from Voss and Hunter Green in a sealed carbon chamber as 2 paths unfold before them. Echo Jump, a phased insertion that could fold them across the planet undetected, or Dark Carriage, a stealth flight doomed to interception. Either way, the world's most classified mission has just gone live. Outside, the world's powers are converging. Russian operatives position in Norfolk. Chinese satellites triangulate gravitational distortions over Rendlesham. Inside the mountain, the U.S. President authorizes Project Veil Fire, a decoy convoy masking the real operation. A father, son, and soldier preparing to cross a threshold older than civilization itself. As Jack undergoes psychological conditioning, the lines between belief and machinery blur. Voss reveals the truth. The event isn't mechanical. It's cultural, timed to Christmas Eve when faith and consciousness align. Leo's neural field isn't just linked to Capel Green. It's synchronizing with something that mirrors intent itself. When the test phase ignites, they glimpse the other side. Not aliens, but themselves, evolved, returning to correct the past. The realization hits. The Rendlesham event wasn't contact. It was programming, a temporal seed planted in 1980, now reaching full bloom. As President Rayner gives the final order, activate phased convergence, confirm echo jump for all three. Raven Rock thrums with a hum of destiny. And then, in the stillness before departure, a new player enters. Chuck DeCarp, a forgotten analyst from the old DIA days, resurfacing with the files that started it all. Soft Wars, Sovereign Echo Protocol, and proof that what's coming isn't invasion, but a war of memory. The field is primed, the threshold waits. T-minus 23 hours, 39 minutes. The crossing begins.
So let them